So anybody that saw that video know who number two was gonna be. So my second favorite rapper of all time is T.I., aka Clifford Ayers, aka Tip. And now, the first time I even heard T.I., it was on that Bone Crusher, Never Scared. And I'll never forget it, man. Like, I was listening to it, and it was around the time. Yeah, it wasn't on 106 in Park. It was on like a late night block. It wasn't like BET Uncut. It was just like when they used to show music videos like late, like around like 1 or 2 in the morning or some shit. So usually when they did, they didn't really show like who was rapping, and like the little credits before the video start, they'll be like Bone Crusher featuring Killer Mike and T.I. Well, the video just started and they didn't say what the song title was, and they didn't say who these niggas were. So I'm listening to it, whatever. I knew who Bone Crusher was. I didn't know who Killer Mike was. I'm not gonna hold myself up, but I knew who Bone Crusher was because he happened to be on 106 in Park doing something. But for some reason I didn't hear the song. I just knew who he was. Point blank period. So T.I. come on last, and he come on, and like the punchline that really stuck with me for some reason to this day, the 4 lines. So don't make it a me or you situation. I had your partner down to ICU visitation. Like, hope for the best, but I don't think he gonna make it. Not the way he was shivering and shaking on the pavement. Man, when I heard that shit, I was like, who is this little nigga, man? Who is this little nigga? I ain't gonna say little nigga because back then T.I., man, he had like that presence where you didn't know he was skinny until like he started actually wearing beaters and shit. But like before then, you didn't know he was like a little dude or whatever. So he had like the DMX syndrome. DMX is little too, but that's a whole nother video on DMX. But yeah, I didn't hear like nothing from him or whatever for months, and like time went by or whatever, and I saw the Rubber Band Man video, but then this time they showed his name. It was T.I. I was like, that's that nigga. All right, his name T.I. So I looked up his shit or whatever, and I looked up trap music and I liked it. But then Urban Legend is what really sold me on that nigga. He had that whole album, man. I have like a hard time deciding if that's my favorite T.I. album. I don't know if it is, but all I know is that I played that album out. I played it out. Every track on there was a banger to me. I don't really have any favorites because they all ended up on like one of my playlists, at one point in time. But I just remember, man, just really banging that shit. And what really gravitated me towards them is that even though I didn't live that life, I'll be real, I didn't sell drugs. I wasn't in shootouts. It's not me. I've done other things that I'm not really going to broadcast in public like that, but we not talking about me. The point is, man, he lived what he rapped about. So he was basically just, speaking on his experiences. And I respect that. I respect when the artists actually, speak on what they've done instead of what they wish they did. You feel me? So yeah, man. So long story short, that when I found out how real he was, pretty much, man, he made me not a Lil Flip fan. I wasn't a big fan of Lil Flip, but I was like banging, Underground Legend and that Game Over shit, and then that Sunshine shit he had with Lee. I was banging that shit because I don't know, I just like that shit. But when T.I. ethered that, man, with 99 Problems, I was like, yeah, I can't fuck with you like that, man. I can't fuck with him. So from then on, man, he became like my second favorite rapper, man. I didn't even know it first, but then King pretty much solidified that, period. That album is a classic in my opinion. You're welcome to disagree, but I had like a really hard time deciding if I like King more than Urban Legend or Urban Legend more than King. But to wrap things up, man, like since I was like a little dude in high school, but I was strong. Like I only weighed probably like 160 ish or whatever, but I was benching like 250. You know what I'm saying? So, but because I was so little, and that was around the time, the era, the early 2000s, mid 2000s, where everybody was wearing that baggy shit. So I was always wearing baggy shit, and it was to the point where I just looked really little until like I started working out, and people saw like how built I was. Like I had an 8-pack, and my arms were like cut up, but I wasn't big, so I wasn't like a juggernaut. I was just cut up, you know what I'm saying? So because of like the school I was going to, because of my size or whatever, like I always had to like defend myself, and that's pretty much what it was. I was rarely the aggressor, even though I was aggressive because I feel like I had to be, but I didn't really start fights. I was just pretty much defending myself. But why do I bring this up is because he was around like the same weight, and it was like known that he can fight. So I kind of looked at that like, size don't really matter. And like I've seen like real life situations that I'm not gonna go into where I was proven that size doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope, man. It was dope. And it was to the point, man, like musically, like every single he was dropping from, I want to say 2003 to I want to say 2010, most of the singles were like 90%, nine times out of 10, man, those singles went hard. They went crazy. So he never really disappointed me in that regard when it came to that. Now, with the whole gun situation, a lot of people thought that he snitched, but when you in that kind of circle that he in, you got like different ways to get out of shit. You know what I'm saying? So the average motherfucker would still be rotting in prison right now, but because he's T.I., he got off. You know what I'm saying? And there's no documents proving that he snitched, so he just got lucky. But it's just the fact that when his best friend got killed, how he handled the situation. He was just like, fuck that, y'all ain't gonna get me, I'm about to get all these guns. And he got jammed up for it. But he showed growth from that. You know what I'm saying? He showed growth after the fact. Like if you notice, he hasn't gone back to that at all. He's kept his nose clean. He's had like different things in his private life that has occurred that I don't agree with, but at the same time, I'm not supposed to agree with a artist's private life completely. I'm only supposed to really enjoy their music and what they present to the public. You feel me? And I'm gonna leave it at that. Now, I've always had max respect for T.I., man. I've always had max respect. At one point, I thought that he had like the smoothest flow in the game. You know what I'm saying? He was never real like a punchline artist per se, like Lil Wayne or just any punchline artist, in their prime or whatever. But he always had like that smooth flow where he was just talking this shit, and I enjoyed that shit. You feel me? And plus, the way he was talking, it just felt more authentic to me. But as far as like his music nowadays, man, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all, man. I don't listen to it. You know what I'm saying? I guess I kind of outgrew his music or whatever. After this video, I'm gonna check out like his last couple projects. I haven't really listened to a project since, I don't know, like 2014, 2015, right around now. And it's no disrespect. It's just, I'm in like the state now where I really don't listen to a lot of projects anymore. And like the stuff that he was putting out just felt really samey. I think like the last project I listened to was the track that he had with Pharrell on there. I know he had another track on there with Pharrell, but damn, what was it? I can't think. It was Paper something, not Paper Trail, but it was something else. You know what I'm saying? That was like the last album. The song that's coming to my head is I put it on dough, I put it on feel, I put it on dough, I put it on feel. He had that song on there. Oh yeah, the album that had that song on there with Young Thug, about the money. That's like the only Young Thug feature I like, ironically. But yeah, that's the last album that I like peeped or whatever. He dropped a few projects and I just haven't peeped them. You know, I just feel like, I think what happened was he was like an interview when he was dropping Trouble Man, Heavy as the Head, and he had dropped Go Get It, and he was in an interview. He was just like, the interviewer was just like, yeah, you know, you dropped that, you know, like you're not even trying, like you. And he said, yeah, I'm just giving the people what they want. That's it. And I'm all like, dang, all right, so nothing else is going into this, you know what I'm saying? So I slowly started drifting away. But since I'm not a fake ass fan, I still appreciate, you know, what he did or whatever. And he has had some tracks, you know, like that I really related to. On the T.I. versus T.I.P. album, he had like a song called My Type. And when I graduated from high school, I'm class of 07. When I graduated from that, I used to play that song over and over and over again, because that was around the time where I really started drifting into deep depression. 2009 was the peak, but like, you know, after graduation in 07, you know, I slowly started getting more and more depressed. 2008, it was creeping up on me more and more. In 2009, it was just like, come on, guys, just kill me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was just always playing that track, man. And, you know, people will probably be like, why were you playing these negative songs? Well, it's because I felt negative, so I just wanted to see if anybody else, including like artists that I really rock with, felt the same tip or whatever. I can kind of see why people don't nowadays, but at the same time, I don't turn my back on my favorite artists. I always rock with them. I still want to see them live one day. You know, I've never been to a concert, never. So one day we make it happen. Maybe one day I'll be able to meet them. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's all I gotta say, man. Black Enigma out.